The transfer deadline has passed. The transfer window has closed. Deals are done. We are going to be breaking down the major deals in the Premier League, some across Europe. Who has flopped? Who has succeeded? What will this mean for the upcoming season? Hit the like button, hit the share button, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you on the other side. Yes, guys, the transfer deadline has passed. The clock has struck 11 p.m. It's done. All the jostling, all the tussling, all the rumors as far as the big deals go anyway, it's all done. Of course, we know the British Championship and lower league deadline goes on to October the 16th. But if you're shopping in that market after that, you have got some big problems. Everything important in the Premier League has been done, official, signed, sealed, and confirmed. We're going to start with the big one of today. Come to you first, Ramsey. Thomas Partey has signed for Arsenal. You have pulled off one of the best signings of the transfer window. I think most fans would admit that one of the best defensive midfielders, one of the best defensive midfielders in the world right now, one of the most sought after names in world football, Thomas Partey, for a mere £45 million. It's taken a few weeks, a few months, all the rumors we've heard, but it's done. You must be happy with that.
Yeah, finally, man. Deadline's over. We've literally done it on deadline, as we tend to do on a yearly basis. But this is the man we've wanted, and we've been chasing him for. They say we've been chasing him for a couple of years now. Just like trying to get him and trying to see if we can agree a deal with him. That's obviously been done. And as you said, it definitely becomes our best midfielder for sure. One of the best defensive midfielders in the league for sure as well. And something we've always said for a long time, we needed a defensive signing to come in. We had Torreira in the past, who's now obviously just gone to Atletico. We've had Xhaka come in, and none of them have really filled the void of the old school sort of Gilberto's and even Vieira's to an extent in terms of box to box. So this looks like this could be the one, as we've seen it. There's nothing necessary to prove in terms of can he do it. We know we've seen it in the Champions League. We saw it in the Europa League when he beat us a couple of years ago. It's something that we've seen from him on a regular basis. So man, I'm glad that we got it done in the end.
Yeah, I think for me that's a good signing for Arsenal. It's a signing that, I guess, a position that Arsenal have kind of been talking about for a while. That that defensive midfield anchor man, and you've brought in certain players, and they've had high expectations, and it hasn't really come into fruition. But I feel like this one could be the one. I've heard an Arsenal fan mention recently this could be that the Gilberto Silva replacement. And Gilberto Silva left for what, 2008?
Yeah.
It must be around that time. So, Man United, we'll get onto them. We ain't filled our right-hand position for over a decade. And maybe this is Arsenal's, filling that defensive midfield position after a decade. Kyle, you're a Barcelona fan. Of course, he was playing over in La Liga. How good of a signing do you think this is for Arsenal?
I think it's actually a very good signing, and actually a quality signing. And it's even that much more a better signing because of the way Arteta's got his team playing. Against bigger teams, they're playing a bit more of a low block, hit them on the counter, and obviously with him playing as an anchor support for his back line, he would slot in seamlessly. And obviously against weaker oppositions, yes, they're not going out all gung-ho to beat them all 4-5-6-0. It's still a very much conservative, but I just think with him in the team and the way Arteta's got them playing, it will allow the more forward players to be a bit more free without having to track back as much or do as much heavy work. Because before, where you had Xhaka or El Nene or whoever it may be playing in that role, or that role that's supposed to support the back line, they would need a bit more support with it. So maybe they got to drag in another central midfielder player to help them. Whereas now he might be able to do it by himself. So yeah, I think it's a top quality signing for them.
Yeah, I think it is. I think that's a good one. Of course, Arsenal also linked to our throughout the window as well. A lot of Arsenal fans were thinking one or the other. Then at one point, it seemed like they were like, "We can get both," and then it was like, "We're not going to get any." And then they got obviously Partey in the end. Which one do you think, Roman, was more important? Which one was the key out of those two? If you can only get one,
the thing is, I think Arsenal played it very clever because they knew that all we had to do was pay the £45 million release clause and part done. The agreement in terms of wages, medicals, agent fees, they were done a long time ago. That was agreed with Partey. It was the fact that I paid the release clause. When you have that in the bank, knowing that all we need to do is pay the money, then you go off, then you can have a look. So I feel like they wanted both. They chased a lot, knowing that worst comes to worst, we can just trigger Partey at any time we wanted to and get that done. And I feel like right now Partey's the one, and I said it at the start of the window. I think he was my number one in the videos that I did. He was the number one person that I wanted to sign because that's a position we needed for a long time. Having looked at our first few games, there's definitely a need for a creative midfielder. There's definitely a need for someone to come in and pull the strings, especially without Mesut Ozil being in the squad. There just seems like a lack of creativity in the middle. So that may become a problem as the season goes on. We may be able to get for the first few games or so, but as the season goes on, it may be a hindrance and the reason why we don't get into the top four in the end. But we'll see what happens with that. I feel like Arsenal Partey was always a number one, and that's why we had to get the agreement done first. Get the agreement done, make it look like we're done. Because Atletico said this morning they didn't think we were coming back for him. They thought negotiations were finished. We tried to get a cheaper deal. They said, nah. So he said, okay.
Wait, what was all that madness? Because you lot were trying to ship off Torreira, or they wanted Torreira. You wanted Partey. And then things just started happening behind each other's backs and all them kind of thing. What was happening there?
Yeah, man. I mean, listen, the fact is they wanted to sign Torreira on loan. That they always wanted Torreira on loan for about 3-4 weeks. We said we want to sell him. We need money, especially for the Torreira deal. Especially for the Aouar deal. It now seems that we've obviously had the money for Partey already there. It was just trying to get money for the Aouar deal. Now we said, look, we'll buy him. They said no. We said, can you buy him? They said no. We said, look, all right, obligation to buy, no. Option to buy, no. Only want a loan. Okay, cool. Do your thing. All right, have him. He wants to go, desperate to go. We'll let him go and have him on loan. But we'll come back to this. And they said, all right, cool. We wanted the deal for Partey in the meantime. Give us a good deal. We're giving you Torreira. Give us a good deal. No. You're not having him. Apparently, they've been talking to Torreira saying that they want to have him with Partey in the middle. And we said, you know what? All right, cool. We'll back off because we know whatever happens, we talk to La Liga as per the rules in Spain. Pay the money to La Liga. Get the player that you want. And that's what we did. We didn't even chat to Atletico. Just paid the money to La Liga. He agreed the deal, flew over here, and then La Liga phoned him and let him know that, listen, your boy's gone in it. And good. And you know what? Atletico, we don't need to chat anymore. Time done. Negotiations done, innit? You got your man, we got ours. Cool. And we'll have him back by the end of the season anyway. So
I think Arsenal they move ruthless. They move ruthless in this summer. They needed to get some deals done, and they did. They got Gabriel early. They got Willian as well, and I think that was the only other two, wasn't it?
Well, we got obviously Mari signed the deal in terms of we only loaned him, so we completed the sign of Mari. Cedric we signed on a free as well. Dani Ceballos came back on loan from Real Madrid. That wasn't to happen. So yeah, we got that on the line of loan deal, and then of course Aubameyang signed a new contract, and we signed a new goalkeeper after letting Martinez go. So there's been a few, but Partey definitely was the big one, man.
How would you rate the window out of 10?
I mean, I give it a 7. The reason I give it a 7 is like you've actually got most of the players that I wanted, but there's two things. Obviously, when you go so hard for someone like Aouar, you kind of hope to get that done, and if not, something along those sort of lines. The fact that we've completely missed that takes it down a notch for me. And also, the deadline's gone. Kolasinac is still there. We've got Socrates still there. Mustafi is still there. Chambers is still there. Is still there. Like, we got so much sort of dead wood just hanging around in our squad, which I thought this was the year to get rid of them, and it just never happened in the end, man. I know Guendouzi went on loan and Torreira went on loan as well, but there's foxes are moving mad out there.
Are your pet foxes?
Huh?
They're your pet foxes.
Yeah, it's always screaming, man. Yeah, man. So in the end, you know what? It's been a good. It could have been better if we got rid of some more. And you know what? As you said, domestic window is still open for a week. We have to ship them off to the championship. No.
Listen, we're going to get on to Man United in a bit because that needs its own dissection. But first, we're going to come to Barcelona. Now, Barcelona, their biggest deal happened a while ago. People might even forget that with the whole Miralem Pjanic and Arthur swap deal between themselves and Juventus that happened some time ago. And they've also signed Trincao, the right winger from Braga, Des, the right back from Ajax, and Mateus Fernandes from Brazilian side Palmeiras. There was a lot of talk also, Ronald Koeman publicly actually wanted Leon forward. I totally forgot his name. Memphis Depay, of course. Memphis Depay. And there was it seemed like a bit of a tussle where if they were going to get Memphis, they had to get rid of Osman Dembele or any of their forwards. Dembele became the one they were going to get rid of, but they wanted to sell him permanently. Kyle, you were trying to force him as much as you could anyway to Manchester United. Take him, buy him. Are you done with Dembele? Like, is he not talented? Has he not got nothing to offer your team? You're muted, I think. I can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. And that's probably why you didn't hear me when I was giving you the name Depay when you were struggling. Yeah, I had muted my headset accident. Yeah, so what's that? I can't really make out what you're showing me then, mate.
Some illegal parties going on. More than 6 people. We party tonight, boy. We party tonight.
What did you ask me again?
No, I mean, Dembele, are you done with him?
Oh yeah, you know what? The guy's decent and the guy has talent. However, talent and potential can only get you so far. There becomes a point where you have to start producing, and we've seen it over the years. And I'll give you 2 examples. Yeah, there were 2 ex-Arsenal players, but Diaby and Wilshere. Now, both of them were talked about highly at the time. Massive potential. Jack Wilshere was supposed to be England's next best thing in midfield. Diaby was supposed to be, that Gilberto with that box-to-box replacement that they were looking for. He was supposed to be that guy. Diaby was meant to be a serious baller, and everyone said, yeah, they have this massive potential, but injuries hindered them. Dembele's been no different. Everyone talked about him. I watched a little clip, and they had a stat comparison of Dembele and Sancho, because obviously Sancho was apparently getting ready to go to Manchester United, and they were like, on the year Dembele exited.
We still got until 1 a.m. to finalize the paperwork. I think we must have done everything else, the medicals.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. But yeah, no, they were comparing Dembele's like exit year which I think was in 2017, to Sancho's potential exit year, which should have been this year, 2020, and their stats. And their stats were pretty much identical. There isn't much between them. I mean, the only difference was Sancho had about 9 or 10 goal contributions with its goals or assists in total to his name than Dembele, but everything else in terms of like dribbles completed, like touches in the area and taking on their players, like everything was very similar. So he was no slouch when he came. He had massive potential. He was a very good football player. But since signing, the guy's played like 52 games in all competitions, and it's been like 3 years. It's been like 3 years, and he's had 52 appearances, and that includes appearances off the bench. They ain't 52 starts. Those are some a good chunk of those games are from off the bench. So he's hardly been in the team. He's hardly been in the squad. So it becomes a point where you just have to say, you know what? Do we cut our losses? How long is this gonna go on for? So I don't know. I'm personally, I'm done with him. I can't hang around and keep waiting because, yeah, man, he ain't getting no game time to improve himself. So why are we keeping him?
Was that a player that you would have wanted? Of course, I was one that Koeman really wanted. Is that one that you would have been excited for, or was it just like wait and see kind of thing?
You know what? I'm not gonna lie. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I only watched Memphis a little bit before he signed for Man United, and then obviously in detail when he signed for Man United. Week in, week out, I looked at Memphis, and I really judge him off of that. I haven't really looked at him since he's moved on from Man United, so he's not a player that I'm like, yeah, go and sign him. Go on, I'm dying to go get Memphis. I can live with that signing. My memories of him, or my opinion of him, is basically Man United and before. And that's not a very good Memphis. That's not a very good Memphis. So my opinion of him isn't very high. Obviously, you can look at the numbers and the stats, which plays in his favor. But at the end of the day, I still want to see him play, see his impact, the way he goes about changing the game, and how he could affect our team and if he would fit the system. Because it's at the moment, it's all about if you can affect the system. Because Griezmann's a prime example. Very good player, good stats, good numbers for Atletico. But he was never the type of player to suit our system. Hence why he doesn't make it into the team.
I see. I mean, Coutinho's back in the team these days, and maybe he's looking to revive his Barcelona career. So that might be good for Barca. In terms of as the major signing, I mentioned Dest as well and Trincao, but Pjanic in for Arthur. That one never made any sense to me. I think they're so similar in terms of style of play, but Pjanic is older. I don't think he's that much better. I'm sure. Wait, who paid money? Someone paid. It wasn't a straight swap.
No, we both paid for the player, but Juve paid more for Arthur than we paid for Pjanic.
Okay, that makes sense because I was thinking
so it wasn't like a swap plus money. It was like we bought Pjanic and they bought Arthur.
Yeah, okay. But to you, was that just a case of Barca wanting some money or what? Because that just didn't make sense to me.
You know what? To this day, I can't work that one out. I can't, and for multiple reasons. Like you said, one, they're very, very similar type of players. In my personal opinion, I think Arthur's better than Pjanic. Personally, that's in my opinion. Secondly, Pjanic isn't going to get any better. He's either at his prime or about to start decline. He's about to get worse. And Arthur has the potential to get even better. He can improve his game still. He still has a lot to learn. Look at someone like Thiago Alcantara, for example. Always had potential, but I consider him to be a late bloomer. I think Thiago is a late bloomer. And there's no reason to say that, give Arthur the game time. Who's to say that he wouldn't be a late bloomer? And lastly, you make the signing before you sign your manager. Before you recruit your manager, because you don't know who you're gonna get. Yeah, you got some coaches in mind, but at the end of the day, the manager may not want that player. And as it stands out, he ain't played for Ronald yet. He don't want him. He ain't gonna use him. So you've signed a player that the manager don't even want or won't even utilize before you at least wait, because the player's not going anywhere. I guarantee you, Precious ain't going anywhere. He ain't going anywhere. Get the coach and you say, okay, we got this deal on the table. Let me run it by you. Are you good with this? And he would tell you yay or nay. Like, it made zero sense, man. It was so illogical. And that's just been us for the last 2-3 years. It's been us for the last 2-3 years. So many illogical dealings. They made no sense.
A comment here from Hala Madrid says, Kyle, did you, well, I think he's asking that, did you prefer Trincao and Pedri? Is that his name, Pedri?
Who's Pedri?
Oh, he's the one they sold, that 17-year-old. They signed from Las Palmas in, I think he came off the bench yesterday. And Dembele didn't come off the bench. Is Dembele done at Barca? Because he didn't come off the bench yesterday. They're basically trying to force him out. You got a little youth coming off the bench ahead of him when you're trying to overturn the game against Sevilla. And what it was, we put in a bid for him, a loan bid. Barca were like, no, we have to sell. In the end, they were like, you know what? Okay, we will loan him. We're fine with him. We will loan him. But then, Bele, you need to sign a new contract first, and you can do the loan. Because obviously, they still want to keep his value so they can sell him on. He's like, no, I'm not signing a new deal. I'm also not going on loan. I'm staying to fight for my place. Do you think he's actually got a future? Now that he's actually staying, do you think Koeman's going to have to utilize him? Or is it going to be a case of, like, you saw at Real Madrid with Gareth Bale, where it's like, I tried to get rid of you, we couldn't, we're still not going to play you?
Look, you know what? I'm always going to be a fan of a player that's willing to fight for their place. I've seen it over the last few years, and I always rate players that do that. Dybala, for example, when they were trying to force him out to Man United, Spurs came in, and he was like, you know what? I don't want to go. I want to stay at you and I want to fight for my place. Like, why are you trying to get rid of me? Like, for all I've done. And he's like, I don't want to go. Dembele's doing the same. Bale tried to do the same. I don't want to go. I want to fight for my place. I'm never going to knock a player that's doing that, because people always like to quickly jump on a player. Oh, you like to jump to jump clubs and jump teams so you can get a bigger paycheck. It's all about the money. But then when we get a player that actually sits down and says, no, I'm ready to fight for my place, I'm going to back that. I'm 100% going to back that. And for me, I don't think his career is done at Barcelona. I mean, he will get. I'm in no doubt that he will get his chance. There's cup games. There will be Champions League games, easier Champions League games. Ones that maybe are a little bit more insignificant in the group games, and there will be injuries. Their players will get tired. Players have got to rotate out. We're in the year of COVID. No doubt, a few players might even test positive. Some players have got to sit out quarantine for a couple of weeks. He will get his chance over the course of the season. It's all about how hard he's worked in the training ground, and whether he's really willing to take that chance when given to him. If he just sits down with the manager and says, say, Gaffer, you know what, I really want to play for this team. I really want to play for this team, and I'm willing to give it.
I'm going to say Gaffer, but yeah, go ahead.
I really want to give it 110. I'm prepared to wait. I respect that. It's your decision, but just know when you're ready to play me, I'm going to give it my all. And as long as he does that and he tries, I got no problem with that. But
all right, let's move on to Man United, innit? Because this has been.
Hey, you forgot the transfer for Barcelona. Lionel Messi.
Oh,
biggest transfer Barcelona made this summer by a country miles. Begging him to stay at the club. Begging him.
I heard that. We'll probably speak about it more when we do the podcast, and we can reevaluate more. I want to focus more on the deadline day, but of course, yeah, keeping him. I mean, messed up Man City's plans, messed up plans. Everyone, innit? Maybe even Sancho's plans, innit? Maybe if Messi went, they would have bought Sancho. Who knows, innit? But Man United, innit? I think what a disaster! What a disaster of a transfer window. It's actually embarrassing. It's actually embarrassing. Man United are supposed to be. I have to say, supposed to be one of the biggest clubs in the world, but we're moving like some Sunday league footballer. We're not even moving like a football club. It's just Man United, not MUFC. It's Manchester United PLC. Yeah, that's it. We're done. We are finished. We are finished as a football club. As long as this structure remains as it is, we are done.
Neeks, what are you saying? Like Pro Evolution, Man Red.
Man red. That's all. Yeah, we are man red. We're not. If we're not united, I can tell you that we're not united. We are man red. We're done. Now, from the top, and I say from top to bottom, the Glazers we know don't care. We already know they don't care. They take money out of the club. They spend as little as they have to bring in as much as they can. That's their mantra. That's their policy. They've all put in place a board that know nothing about football and instruct them to make footballing decisions. Now, I don't know who has the power. If Ed Woodward can just say, you know what, I'm going to hire someone below me, i.e. a sporting director, to actually do the main job, the sporting job, and I'll do the other job, or that comes from the Glazers. I don't know. But between the two of them, those factions, the board and the owners, they haven't got a clue about the football side of this. The recruitment in terms of the scouting network has improved. We've seen, even just this summer, the amount of youngsters across Europe that we're signing. Amad Traore, for example, a highly respected and touted youngster from Atalanta. We bought him 19 million. He's coming in January, and then a few add-ons as well, about 17, 18 million on add-ons as well. Then we've got there's a couple fullbacks I think we bought from Barcelona and Real Madrid. Can't remember their names. We bought a Uruguayan name. What's his name again? I want to say Palestri.
Edinson.
Say again.
You bought Edinson.
I wasn't talking about him.
Uruguayan.
I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about the scouting network. We're going out there looking into the European market and seeing, all right, let's get some youngsters and we're looking to the future. However, the here and now also matters. And we have spent £48 million in the attempt to close a 30-point gap to Liverpool. We have been outspent by Arsenal, Spurs, Tottenham Hotspur. We have been outspent by Everton, Villa, Liverpool, who are already 30 points better than us, Man City, of course, Chelsea, of course, and it's probably half the Premier League. We have. What are you gonna say?
Leeds
United Football Club. We have been outspent in an attempt to close in on our nearest and fiercest rivals, Man City and Liverpool. That is the extent to how serious this club is being successful. They're not serious. And I made a very what's the word? I don't know what the word I'm about. I came to rest with myself and Manchester United, and I just realized, you know what? This club is not built for winning anymore. They're not planning on winning. That's not their aim. If we win, it's a bit more by luck than judgment. It's not in the plan. The plan is to make money. If we win, and it might add a bit more money, well done. So they want managers who can come in and get every last inch out of the players and actually overachieve. And at the same time, obviously, you have to hope that your rivals don't achieve their goals. Because if your team and club ain't built to win and others are, you need them to fall down the peck or two. So I've actually just stopped expecting from Man United. It's actually my fault. I've been so foolish over the last 7 years to keep trusting. I'm just trusting. All right, they'll get it right this time. All right, they'll do it this time. Oh, they say, okay, they're changing the culture, they're changing the strategy, they're changing this. All right, let's go again. And I realized, well, that's my fault because they've never shown me anything that I can believe in. I've been living in hope. So I've actually I have to take a step back. And I have no expectations of Man United now. I have no expectations of the board, of the owners, of the manager, of the players. I'm not going to get into the players now. I did that when we did the match review in terms of how mentally weak they are. They just crumble. The manager and the managers we've had, I don't trust any of them. They'll say one thing and they'll do another. The players came out apologizing for their performances, but I don't care about apologies. I want results. Show me that you're sorry on the pitch. Show me that it won't happen again on the pitch. Don't tell me you're sorry. So I have no expectation, Man United. We've got Newcastle United, Paris Saint-Germain, Chelsea, Arsenal, and who is it? RB Leipzig in the next month. I have no expectations. I do not believe we are going to get anything from those games. If we do, well done. I'm happy for the 90 minutes. But it doesn't raise my expectations for the next game. If we lose, I'm not going to be like, oh, damn it, I expected. I didn't. Oh, I'm upset that you lost. But I didn't expect anything from you anyway. This is what we have become. And the blame and the fault lies at the top of the hierarchy. The owners and the board. And until that changes, Man United are done. And with that being said, I can confirm officially that Jadon Sancho will not be coming to Manchester United this summer. What a disaster of a transfer window. We had one job. We had one main target. A 20-year-old sensation out in Germany. He's going to be a world beater. There was not another club challenging for him this summer. And we have well and truly effed it up. I'm done. I'm actually done.
So you're not signing Jadon Sancho, no?
Bro, Barcelona saving all that money to go and get him, bro. Trust me.
No, the thing is, he's not going to Barcelona. He's the worst part about it. He's coming to the Premier League, and it's just not to Manchester United. If he went to Barcelona, I'll be mad that we didn't get him. But when he comes to the Premier League and he's tearing up at Old Trafford for another team, that's when I'll really be angry.
Damn, he's going Man City. Damn.
Or worse, Liverpool.
Nah, they won't pay 100. Nah. The thing is, right, there's two things. Right, with Jadon Sancho, right, there's a couple of things on that. There's obviously the part where you're obviously negotiating an offer for him, and Dortmund are playing hardball. All right, cool, fair enough. You knew that they were paying hardball in August because they set a deadline of 10th of August, and they said, look, this is the money that you're going to want to pay to get him. It was obvious that Man United were going in for Jadon Sancho. I think everyone knew that, and it would have been number one on Ollie's list if he's even allowed to give a list. And obviously, what happened in the past few days is just, I don't even think it's backup. It's whatever we can get
Panic.
at the moment in time.
It's panic.
It's panic, but it's panic, but
it's a stopgap.
It's not even. Yeah, it's a stopgap. It's a stopgap. That's what it is. It's a stopgap. It's just trying to fill in a void just to get it done. And in my head, I'm thinking, how long did it take you to realize that you weren't going to pay the money? Because you have the option to pay the 120 million euros, but you don't want to pay it, and that's fair enough. No one has to pay the money, but at some point you got to say, right, the second option is him. Or we go hell and leather. You obviously had about 80 mil, 90 mil somewhere in the bank because that's what you wanted to pay for him, isn't it? So it's sitting there somewhere. I know, and it's spread out across a couple of other transfers today. But I mean, for me, it's like I feel like the Cavani thing, they feel that they're going to just please people because he's a big name.
He ain't pleasing no one.
I don't get it though, because no one. It's like you can't fool anyone these days. Everyone knows everything. Everyone knows who Cavani is.
The thing is, it's a tough one because you give them the number 7 shirt, you're an idiot. I don't know who decided that. You're an absolute idiot. How dare you, with some panic buy, go and give man the number 7 shirt? He's going to be here for a year if we extend it for another year.
It's to boost his confidence, isn't it?
Maybe it is. But
Maybe that was in his negotiations.
maybe I don't know. But if you wanted, the thing is, Solskjaer's always wanted a backup striker, another striker. He wanted Erling Haaland in January, didn't get him. We got Igalo. We only wanted Igalo to the end of the summer. Then we had to extend it because we needed it because the season got extended, which meant that he's here till January. But Solskjaer don't want him. Like he wasn't even the squad for the Spurs game. But so he always wanted a striker. But you've had all month, I guess the plan was you bring in Sancho, you got Greenwood as backup. But Cavani's been available since forever. And you go and get him on the last day. We've played 5 games. We could have done with someone already. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. Let me just say quickly. I can't hear from Kevin K. The Glazers just dropped 40 million on an unknown 18-year-old and their fans complain they don't spend money. Well, that's the thing. One, you got your figures wrong. We ain't dropped 40 million on anyone. Not even our highest spend this summer was 35 million on Van der Beek, so that's already wrong. It's actually around. See, Sky Sports were reporting 21 plus 20, but another source, I think it was James Duncan, the Telegraph, he was reporting 20 million plus 9 in performance-related add-ons. So it depends on whether he's successful or not. And it's not about the money. The money shows how unserious you are because this is the price of Sancho, 108 million. You spent 48 million this summer. So you had no intention really of either getting Sancho or getting the next best person for that position. You've just missed out on the number one target and haven't actually got someone. The issue is that we've got key positions, right wing, centre back, centre defence midfield, left back, that have not been filled. The left back position, Telles came in, 15 million, good deal. But why are we waiting till deadline day? Why is it only happening on the last day of the transfer window when the man has wanted to come for the longest while? I don't understand. That is the issue. It's not about the money. And it's not even about the players, because Cavani is a good player. Telles is a good player. Van der Beek's a good player. The issue is the process. The process is broken. And until it's fixed, we're going to be in this over and over again. This is 2014 all over again. Welcome to Man United, Radamel Falcao. This is it. Oh, it's ridiculous. Kevin K so angry. Tevin and Mark Goldbridge need to be hung out to dry, strung the fans along all summer, saying Sancho is done for extra clicks and ad revenue. Disgraceful. I mean, no, because they're doing videos on news reports. So if you watch the videos that they do, they never say I'm reporting, I was told. They're saying, well, this is what so-and-so's reporting. Well, Fabrizio Romano's tweeted. Yana Agaforta was tweeted. They've done interviews with different journalists, etc. I've seen some fans try and not even again, it's not even Man United fans. So you're a Chelsea fan. I saw a Liverpool fan tweeting earlier. Man United fans are as culpable as Ed Woodward. What? We don't make no decisions. We have no power. If man doesn't want to sign Sancho or he wants to give Jones a new contract, how is that our fault? Because if man is bowing to the pressure, because if he was, then we wouldn't have given Jones a new contract. But if man bowing to the pressure of the fans to make his decision, it shows exactly why he ain't fit to do the job. Because man's supposed to do the job based on logical reasoning. But yeah, Carl, listen, Cavani's in, Telles is in. Who else? Van der Beek's in, and brought Dean Henderson back on loan from his loan his loan ended at Sheffield United. How would you rate Manchester United's transfer business out of 10?
Well, considering that a certain someone told me they were confident Sancho deal was going to get done and pushed over the line. I mean,
that was the old me when I actually had expectations. So you speak to the old me if I add into the stream later, you can chat to him.
You know what? If you know what? It's been disastrous. You know, it truly has been disastrous. Like you went out, and I think it was very obvious and very clear to everyone. Sancho was your number one target, absolute number one target, and then we started hearing that as the weeks and the months went by, and the deal wasn't done, we started hearing watered down versions of Jadon Sancho. We heard, oh, okay, not Sancho, but we'll get Dembele. Don't worry, guys, we'll get Dembele. Then after Dembele, I was hearing Sarr, Cavani, Adama Traore of Wolverhampton Wanderers, and I'm just thinking this is getting ridiculous. Who next? Bring back Lewis Nani? Like, what's going on here, man? Like, what's going on here? In the end, they didn't even spend a penny on the position. They signed someone for free in a 33-year-old that couldn't even find a football club. Edison Cavani. The guy's like, honestly, it's been absolutely disastrous. Like, people saying, oh, you can't rely on an 18, 19-year-old to carry you for the whole season. It's unrealistic. You know, you got to give him time. You drop him in here and there. Let him mature.
But it's not about carrying us. You talking about Sancho?
No. Greenwood.
Sorry.
Yeah, go get some help for him, man. You're like, okay, yeah, go out there, get some help from him. Like, you can't expect him 18, 19-year-old to come in and play week in, week out, and when things don't go right, you know, because that's the kind of stuff that can break a man at that age. Like the guy was a part of a 6-1 hammering, and then now Man United could potentially, with their fixture list that they got, and he's gonna have to play every week, because who are you gonna play there? Lingard? Mata?
One Mata.
Come on. The guy's got to play there, and now they could potentially go on a horrific run of form, getting spanked 3 and 4 week in, week out now. PSG, Leipzig, and man, I mean, it can break a young man. It can break a young man, and you know, you had to bolster that squad. You absolutely had to. You started off well, and you signed Van der Beek straight away. Boom, deal was done. But I was sat there thinking, whoa, is this a new Woodward? I never seen a deal get.
Why are moving different? 48 hours, boom behind. No news reports, no rumors, boom behind closed doors. Donny Van der Beek. I'm like, what next? Sancho, come on.
And then 2 months went by.
I'm an idiot.
And then 2 months went by, and then we was on deadline day before we knew it. Before we was looking at any more potential signings, I was like, where did it all go wrong? It's absolutely disastrous.
Ed Woodward tried to play poker with Dortmund. That's what it was. Ed Woodward is two things. He ruined his own reputation from the moment he joined Man United in terms of the transfer market. It's always been horrible. And he has to try and rebuild that. You know, last year he hired Neil Ashton, who was, I think, was ex-editor of The Sun, to help with his PR. So, you know, has a better representation out there. And I guess he wants to move in the market in a certain way that Man United don't get bullied, basically, in terms of how much we're going to pay. That you should have done that last year. When Leicester said 80 million or bust for Maguire, you should have said bust. You don't do it on a Jadon Sancho. There's a lot of other centre-backs out there. Maguire improved us last year, but our defence was that bad the year before that there was other centre-backs out there for less than 80 million that would have improved us. So if that was the moment for you to say, I'm going to stamp my foot down in the market and say, this is a new Woodward, I can't be bullied. That was the time. No, you do it when... It's so ironic. When we're trying to get back in the Champions League, yeah, they'll spend. Now we're in the Champions League, now you want to start trying to play hardball because you got in there 1 year. We haven't qualified via top 4 for the Champions League in 2 consecutive seasons since Fergie. We did it once with Jose. We won the Europa League, came 6th, and then came 2nd. But we haven't actually finished in the top 4 in 2 consecutive seasons. So you think you get back in one time, and then you can say, Dortmund, yeah, whatever, I don't trust your deadline. I'll see you on the 30th, and you're going to reduce that price. You're an idiot. You're an absolute idiot. And maybe it's the pride. The pride in the fact that we lost out on Erling Haaland and Jude Bellingham to Dortmund. And he thought, well, I'm gonna get them this time. You say 108, I'm getting for 99. And what? Now you're just like a complete idiot. I wouldn't know. Obviously, that's how you know it's all about money. How is Ed Woodward still in the job? How is Ed Wood? You have messed up so many decisions in your position. How are you still in the job? Because it's all about money. He's bringing the money in, and the Glazers are happy. That is the only thing that matters. Comment here from Mo Wilder says, sad thing is this will be one of the better transfer windows since Fergie left. Yet we are blinded by not signing Sancho. I'm happy we didn't sign him. I'm not sure why. Tell me why you're not happy. The thing is, as I said, the individual players, this ain't about the individual players. Cavani, good player. Taylor's good player. Van der Beek, good player. But everything has to be in context. Liverpool, for example, signed Thiago and Jota. If we sign Thiago and Jota this summer, and that's a good summer for them, very good summer. If we sign Thiago and Jota this summer, terrible summer. It's all in context. What do you need that summer? You can't just look at the player and say it's good players. What did you need that summer to take you to the next level? And we have not got or filled in the position that we need. So, I mean, you put 6 out of 10. I think you're doing it too much justice, because I'm looking at the context of actually what we need rather than the quality of the player. Because if we went out tomorrow and signed, let's say there is no tomorrow, but let's say we had some deals in the off in the next hour, Premier League to be ratified. Tony Cruz, Marco Verratti, and Casemiro. That doesn't improve my window up to 10 out of 10 just because they're quality players. Because we need a centre back, a right winger, and a left back. We got the left back, cool. And maybe you can say Casemiro as defensive midfielder, but we still need a centre back and we still need a right winger as the primary positions. Yes, those players. Our midfield is packed. So now you just got 12 midfielders and you don't know what to do with them. So I don't think I can't just look at the players and say. For me, I'm talking like.
I'd give it a 4, mate.
Yeah, it's a 4 out of 10. It's a 4 out of 10. Cavani is a marquee player on a free transfer, on a 1-year deal. What are you going to say around there?
The other thing with what surprised me the most was when I think Ornstein reported that the centre back was never even on the list. That's even worse. The fact that it wasn't a top 3 priority. It was
I don't know. I'm not 100 when it comes to Ornstein. When it comes to Man United, Arsenal, I trust him because I've heard that a centre back was and Upamecano was, but they're going to go in from next summer. That's what happened. But anyway, continue.
But even then, like there was no, as far as we heard, no bid went in. You heard, kind of whispered around Gabriel, you whispered around Upamecano, but like if you really wanted one, like you would have made a bid. It couldn't have been a priority. Do you know what I mean? It couldn't have been a top priority because I mean you make
Ramsey, you say that Sancho was number 1. We made a bid last week. So if that's our number 1 target last week, and when you think the other, so Tellers was offered to us, we bought him. Cavani was offered to us, we bought him. Van der Beek, I don't know. I'm not sure how that one all came about, but the Van der Sar link at Ajax helped massively. The only player that I know we went out and got actively because we wanted Grealish and it was too expensive, or went out to get actively, it's Sancho. So he may well have been on the list, but I think because remember we know that Solskjaer wanted a left-sided centre back. That's factual. He wanted a left-sided centre back, but the whole the Gabriel one. They said basically, all right, sit tight. We're going to deal with this Sancho thing and we'll come back to you. And when Arsenal said, well, yeah, don't sit tight. Here, this is the offer. Take that. And Deborah said, well, I'm going. I'm going to Arsenal. So I think it was on the list. But I think as Mo kind of said before, no, so maybe it was someone else who said, we just spent the whole transfer market just Sancho. And if we got Sancho, that may have been it. We may have just got Sancho and done. I don't really know. So I don't think it wasn't not on the list, but maybe the priorities were or the money was so short that it was like, well, we'll have to get Sancho. And if we get Sancho, we can't get anyone. And maybe that's why then all these signings come right at the end of the window. I don't know. But we don't feel it.
Yeah. So, yeah, but obviously, regardless, to not have one come in, and obviously, I mean, I'm not even. You was talking earlier about Smalling. I'm like, I just feel like it's clear to see in 3 games that a centre back is needed. I think 3 games you played, 3 games you've been poor. Really should have lost all 3. And if it's that bad, then a defensive number. So whether it's a DM, like a great DM in front of them, or a PB, just to try and shore things up. Yeah. And especially Tejas is quite an attacking fullback as well. So
yes, he is.
It's not even going to shore anything up. It might even be. It could even get worse unless he goes to a 3 at the back, which might put him a win back.
Yeah,
that's the thing. You might have to do that for
honestly, I think, as you said, Tejas ain't coming up to shore things up. He's going to offer something going forward, and if he's going to do that, you're gonna need 3 at the back. I think he's gonna go 3 at the back. Someone was saying that earlier. I think you might, because we've tried 3 at the back before. It's never worked, and that's mainly because our fullbacks are not great going forward. And I think the 4 at the back will work with the defenders we've got if we have great attacking players. So you don't have to compensate. You don't need your fullbacks to do all of that. Because then what you at the moment, you have Shaw and Wan-Bissaka pushed up high, but they're not offering anything. So all they are is just out of position when it comes to defending. But if you've got great attackers, you get a Sancho on the right, Wan-Bissaka don't have to go so far up because, Sancho can do his thing. But yeah, if we're going to play Teles, you might actually go 3 at the back and just get him bombing up the wing and getting crosses onto Cavani's head.
Where does Wan-Bissaka play? Because he ain't no right wing back.
He doesn't have to. No, he's going to have to play right wing back.
You might as well convert him to a right centre back.
But who's going to play right wing back? Me?
Anthony Marshall. Cavani.
Nah, I think.
But also, you got the problem with that. I guess Bailly you can never trust him fitness wise for a season, and then you must have got Rojo. He's going to be a backup of the 3.
You have Rojo.
Rojo and Phil Jones are the backup of the 3.
You know what? I think I've had a lot of discussion with Man United fans after that drubbing at the hands of Spurs. And yeah, Ollie just needs to hit the reset button. He needs to go back to basics. I think we've gone away from a lot of how we were playing. I think what it is, he got carried away. I think he's got carried away. We got all these players, Pogba, Bruno, the front 3. And after lockdown, straight away, it worked. Them man were just balling, and it was like, all right, cool. And then at the end of the Premier League, partly due to fitness and fatigue, because it was playing non-stop, and maybe other issues, tactically or ability-wise, it kind of dropped off. The Southampton game, the West Ham game, and then we got through the Leicester game. It picked back up a bit in the Europa League. I think I'm not saying we deserved to beat Sevilla, but we had enough chances to beat Sevilla. We didn't take them. But I think he's got carried away, and he's tried to go again this season with the same post-lockdown tactics. And maybe he needs to revert back to the pre-lockdown tactics, post-Bruno, where we had 2 defensive midfielders who would it have been at the time? It might have been Fred and McTominay, actually. And Bruno ahead. Basically, the front 4 doing what they're doing. And you got 2 holding midfielders. If you want your fullbacks to push up, cool. But then you need to have cover at the back. We've gone, especially like that in that Tottenham game, we were so attacking. We were like, I was excited watching it because it looked good when you get into the final third. But as soon as Spurs win the ball back, there's space behind the right back, space behind the left back, and you got Maguire trying to run back, Bailly out of position. Like, it was horrible. And I think he really needs to say, you know what? I trusted you lot maybe a bit too much. Maybe I thought you lot were better than you actually are in terms of keeping possession and all that kind of stuff high up in the pitch. We have to start from the back again. And you solidify that. And if you're going to bring in a Teles into the starting lineup, then you probably have to bring another cover into the midfield. So you go with Fred and Matic, and we haven't got a right winger, so you might want to go put what's his name, Van der Beek on the right, or Van der Beek on the left, Rashford on the right. Like Van der Beek looks very versatile out there, and then you say Bruno Pogba number 10, you two got to fight for it. Like Ollie's fighting for his job. Let's make it 100% clear. We got a tough October coming up. If we don't get some big wins in there, he could be out of a job. So he's got to think about himself. It can't be like, oh, if I drop Pogba, he might not sign a contract. To hell with that. This is your job is on the line. Your job is on the line. And the board will get rid of you before they get rid of themselves. So you got to think about yourself. We got to go back to basics. We're playing with this high line and kind of going a bit gung-ho. And we ain't got the defense, the centre-backs mainly, to really cope with this high line. We can't do it. So yeah, it hasn't been a good window. We did, because if he wants to play this way, we have to then go sign the players that we're talking about, and we didn't. So he's gonna have to go back and say, you know what, I gotta trust my front four to just get me the goals. But at least we're not conceding nothing. Don't concede. We had the third best defense in the league last year, we conceded 11 goals in 3 games. It's ridiculous. Rodney, would you have taken Dembele at any point? Yeah, at the deadline point. And I didn't want Dembele. He's a crock. But I would only have taken Dembele on loan. At no point would I have taken him on a permanent. It's too big a risk. And knowing our luck, we buy him and he's on the injury table with Bailly and Phil Jones.
Neeks, what happened with what's going on with Romero? Because his wife is going mad.
Yeah, that's mad. Well, Everton wanted him on loan, but Man United wanted to sell him for 10 million, and that was the problem. So I think Everton's gone out to buy someone else.
Yeah, they got Roma goalkeeper. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was basically that. So I think she's basically saying, "Nah, let him go in it. He's been a loyal servant." You know what? If Everton were willing to pay his full wages, I think we should let him go, because we've got 4 keepers at the club, paying them about 600,000 a week in total, and you can only play one. It's not like you got centre backs and left backs. And you can sub one. No, you can play one keeper. And we've got 4. The David De Gea on 350, I think it's a week. 300, can't remember now. Dean Henderson's on about 100 and 30, 40. Romero's on like 80. And Lee Grant's on about 20 or 30. So that's a mess. Look at that. That's how you know the club got no sense of planning. We have got 4 goalkeepers, and I think 3 of them are on more money than any other goalkeeper in the Premier League. I don't know if there's another goalkeeper on more than what Romero's on.
Nah, Kepa must be on something mad.
He's probably not.
I mean, he's world record transfer fee goalkeeper. He must be.
Kepa wages. He might be actually.
Yeah, no, he must be.
He's on 150k.
Okay.
What's Alisson on?
And Edison must be on Miss Man City. Edison must be on something crazy.
To be fair, they only spent 35 million on him. Let me see.
But I wonder if with 1 week to go in the domestic transfer window, whether Ismail Assar is coming on loan.
Listen, I don't mind Ismail Assar on loan. I don't mind.
That's what I'm thinking.
Again,
the reason why they were trying to get it today was the fact that, from what Sky Sports was saying, that the only problem will be when the deadline for the Champions League is. You have to submit your squad by a certain date.
Yes.
Same with the Premier League, you can do it up until next week. You know, like in FM, you got until the last deadline of
yeah.
But for Europe, they're saying that it closes this week, because when everyone else's window closes, the Champions League has to be submitted. So that's why apparently they were trying to get it done today so that they could register him for Champions League. Otherwise, he may miss out the 6 games, and if you make it through, you can register him in January.
Yeah, if we make it through, come on. if we'll see you in the Europa League, innit? See you.
Cavani's against PSG, bro. Cavani's bagging.
Who, Cavani?
Yeah.
Yeah, what, the consolation goal off the bench? That Cavani signing, come on, right time, man, because Martial's out for three games, man. But yeah, it's a bit mad, man.
I think Cavani's gonna start a lot of games.
Huh?
I think Cavani's gonna start a lot of games.
Yeah, I think so. People talking about bench, but I think he's gonna start a lot of games.
Yeah, I think he's gonna start.
He's got 4 attackers now. He's gonna start.
Yeah, he's gonna start. It may be a good thing for Greenwood.
Yeah.
When you're in a rut like you are now, and you don't want it, you don't want things to fall on his head. So it might be a way to just kind of not just like for example, if you didn't sign Cavani, you got to play Greenwood as your main front three.
Yep.
And obviously, if you're desperate to get Sancho, it means that you didn't really want Greenwood to play as your main front three. So with Cavani, I think. Well, we'll wait and see in it. I mean, Cavani can play across the front three, but he's mainly played up top. But
and right wing.
Huh?
Yeah, you can play on the wing as well.
You can play.
Yeah,
You can play
it may be that he goes wide, or Martial. Maybe I guess the three of them are flexible to play there. It may be their strongest, but yeah, it may just mean that I think he's going to play. I think he's going to play a lot of games. And if you think about it, across the 3 strikers,
he's the best.
He does have the goals consistencies.
Listen, he's the best striker. He's got the best forward. He's the best forward we got.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
It's a fact. It's a fact. He's the best forward we got. Of course, we don't know what Cavani's going to turn up. Like, he may be actually finished. I don't know. I hope not. But you can only go on what we've seen.
Yeah.
And he's actually the best forward we've got. That's a fact. It's a sad fact, but it's a fact. If we went to Spurs, he ain't the best forward. If we went to Arsenal, he ain't the best forward. If we went to Man City, he ain't the best forward. If you went to Liverpool, he's not the best forward. Best striker, obviously, better than Firmino, but he's not the best forward. He's actually the best forward. If we had Sancho, he wouldn't be the best forward. Because I would take Sancho all day over him. But oh, what a sad. Anyway, in terms of the other Premier League, the top 6, the big 6. Actually, let me include Everton. So obviously, Everton, we know they signed Doucouré, Alan, James Rodriguez as the main, and then they signed Rodon from Swansea.
That's Spurs.
Oh, that's Spurs. Oh, I don't think Everton. Yeah, okay, Spurs. Sorry then. So Everton. No, Everton's had Godfrey. That's it. Ben Godfrey. Yeah. Norwich. Spurs.
The goalkeeper now.
Oh yeah, of course. New goalkeeper. Spurs signed Reguilon, Rodon.
That goalkeeper might be Everton's number 1 at some point.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like Pickford's dead. Pickford's dead, and Henderson needs to be fit for England. They might go with Nick Pope, but Nick Pope made a little mistake on the weekend, didn't it?
Yeah, he had a man.
Henderson, I think, is probably the best, but he's not starting week in week. To be fair, it's been 4 games for Man United. No, 5, and he started 2, obviously, in the Carabao Cup. But he may go with... I think Henderson should start. But the issue is, at some point, Gareth Southgate is going to want him to be first choice.
Yeah.
And he's not first choice. So that's the
only... And Southgate's got to look towards Euros.
Yeah, that's the thing. Pope will be first choice all season.
Yeah.
So I think he might be best placed that shit. Pickford needs to be dropped 100%. He's made so many mistakes this week, this season so far already, and that's not including what madness he was doing last year. So I think pretty much since the World Cup, he's been an absolute mare. But what am I saying now? Yeah, so Spurs, they signed Reguilon, Rodon, Højbjerg,
Doherty.
Bale.
Of course, Gareth Bale and Carlos Vinicius. Decent transfer window they've had.
Joe Hart.
Oh yeah, Joe Hart for England. Liverpool have signed Tsimikas, back at left back, Diogo Jota, and Thiago Alcantara. Chelsea have signed a lot. Mendy, Thiago Silva, Chilwell, Kai Havertz, Timo Werner. Who am I missing?
Ziyech.
Yes. Ziyech. I think that's it. And Man City have signed Ruben Diaz, Ferran Torres.
Nathan Aki.
Nathan Ake. Who am I missing? That and Arsenal, Gabriel, Thomas Partey, and Willian. So of those clubs, I know Leicester did a bit of business, but I wouldn't even rank. I don't think their signings were that great. Decent, but they haven't done a mass amount of business, I don't think. Of those clubs that we just listed, who would you say has had the best transfer window? So not just in terms of who they bought, but in terms of what they needed as well.
You know, that's a tough one. That's a tough one, and I tell you why. Because a couple of clubs they did sign what they needed, but the quality in players haven't been sparkling. They haven't been jaw dropping. I mean, I probably have to go with Spurs if I'm honest with you. I'd probably have to go with Spurs. They got Gareth Bale back, and obviously we don't really know where Bale is at because he doesn't play for Real Madrid. And it's not even because of injuries, it's just simply because Zidane don't want him. It's as simple as that. Zidane don't want him, he don't play. As simple as that. So we don't even know where he's at, whether he's finished, whether he's still got it. So we don't know. But it's still Gareth Bale. This man's won Champions Leagues. He's scored in Champions League finals. He's scored big Champions League goals. He's a certified world-class player. It's as simple as that. But we don't know where he's at. And on top of that, they've addressed issues that they needed with Doherty. They got fullbacks in. As I said, Bale. They got backup striker for Kane, which they've tried to do over the years many a times with Lorente and numerous assignments, and just always just failed to get a proper backup striker to Kane. But Vinicius looks to be the real deal, like a proper backup striker that can also get in amongst the goals. So it would probably have to be with Spurs because at some point, Kane, for the last couple of seasons, past two and a half seasons, Kane's always got some sort of big injury, keeps him out for like 2-3 months, and their season always spirals downwards, and that last season or so, it's costing them Champions League places. So with Bale and a striker and some fullbacks, I have to give it to Spurs. Honestly, I have to give it to Spurs.
Sevilla have made the biggest signing of the transfer window. They have signed Gunnosaurus.
Wait, have they actually?
I don't know what's going on there, to be honest. I ain't got a clue what is going on there.
No, they couldn't have.
Come true. Welcome, Gunnosaurus.
Man.
Anyway, so Ramsey, Liverpool, City, Man United, Chelsea, Arsenal, Spurs, Everton. Who's had the best window?
First of all, I thought Man City's actually had a poor window. See, I don't know what their fans will think, but when you look at it, selling Sane, bringing Torres in, Diaz, I think the jury's still out, and Ake, he's good, but how good in terms of what they need? They didn't sign a left back. They missed out on their main guy in Koulibaly, who they'll be obviously trying to get. I think they've had a poor window, personally, but we'll see what happens to them. At the moment, I think in terms of addressing their issues, I'm probably going to give it to Chelsea. And I think Everton, Spurs have done well as well, and Arsenal have done. Arsenal had a decent window as well, but I feel like Chelsea have gone out. Chelsea are the ones that have shown the most in terms of ambition to go and catch the top two. I feel like they have stated their authority now. It may not work, definitely not. But in terms they know they've had a problem with the goalkeeper, got rid. They've brought in a defender, brought in a left back, changed a lot of their forwards.
Yeah.
And Ruben Loftus-Cheek is out the door again.
Lubem's softest cheeks. Lubem's soft.
Mama telling me, he's so much better than Dele Alli. And I said, but has he I said, has he proved it yet? I said, listen, I don't mind people being better than a certain player if you can tell me when it's happened. But you can't tell me he's better than Dele Alli if he hasn't proved it yet. And now he's gone on loan to Fulham. I mean, and the way Fulham are moving right now,
it's defenders they need. It's defenders that Fulham need.
Yeah, defenders they need. If he gets relegated in that Fulham team, it's not going to look good in the CV. Yeah, but I mean, yeah. So they've obviously got rid of the players they want to get rid of in terms of him, and yeah, I just don't know whether it's gonna. In terms of transfer window, as you look at it on paper, it looks good. I just don't know with Chelsea. I don't know if they're going to gel by game week 38. I don't know if Lampard's going to be able to do it. It does seem a little bit. It does seem a little bit like foreigners and youth. Like
would that make it a bad transfer window in the sense that they bought too many players?
It could do. It definitely could do. I've done it in FM before. You go out and splash the cash thinking, I've done a madness here. And then when you look at it, you think, after a while, this one wants to play, this one wants to play, and you're like, well, I can't really fit everyone in. And then some man don't even register for the Champions League. You think, I ain't got enough players.
Kyle used to have man sitting on the outside the squad. You're like, I'll play them in the cups.
Then you get knocked out in the third round. You think, oh, I can't even play you anymore. So it's like, yeah, it definitely could upset the balance. And I think already 3 games in, you can tell that they're not ready yet. And then there's some to come back. But listen, as some come back, man will go out. It's injuries. It happens across the season. So you've got to try and keep the balance well. I feel like time will tell in terms of the youth. This whole youth project they had going on last year. Time will tell whether by the end of the season if the Tammies and the Hudson-Odois and the Mounts get their game time, because yeah, we don't know. And if you look at it on paper, them 3 shouldn't be starting with Pulisic and Ziyech to come in. But you know, I'm sure there'll be rotation. But yeah, for me, I think Chelsea had the best window on paper.
Yeah, I think for me it's I think it's definitely between Chelsea. I think definitely because Liverpool's had a decent window. Now, in the aftermath, we might look and say, you know what, they should have got a centre back because Gomez ain't good enough. They lost Lovren, blah, blah, blah. But what did we say? We said they needed a backup midfielder, or they needed a creative midfielder because they didn't have much creative in the midfield. They got that in Thiago, world-class player. We said they needed a backup forward. They got that in a Premier League forward, Diogo Jota. And they got a backup left back in Tsimikas. So other than the centre back, that's probably the only position. Some Liverpool fans will maybe say goalkeeper. They should have got a better backup goalkeeper. But a backup goalkeeper, like Man United, you got 4 goalkeepers and 600,000 a week. Like backup goalkeeper is supposed to be a backup goalkeeper. They ain't supposed to be the best. We were lucky to have Romero for all those years that we had him, and he was happy still on the bench, even though his wife clearly isn't. But I think they've had a good window. Man City, I don't think they have a great window. Man United had a great window. Arsenal had a decent window, but I wouldn't put them top 3. Between Chelsea, Spurs, and Everton, I think Everton's had a very good window, especially the last couple signings, Ben Godfrey and the goalkeeper, because we were saying, you can have James, but if you got Michael Keane and Yerry Mina all season, it will cost you. Now, granted, Ben Godfrey got relegated with Norwich, so you ain't saying, man's gonna come save us, but it's possible to be good in a bad team. If he's an upgrade on Michael Keane, then that's an improvement. They've got in a goalkeeper who, hopefully for them, is an improvement on Jordan Pickford. And then it's just about staying fit. Everton are not going to go out there like they have in the past with and splash 7 players and all that kind of nonsense. I think sometimes you just have to buy 3 or 4 in key positions. And granted, of course, if Alan gets injured or if Charleston gets injured, you have to start bringing in Iwobi and that kind of stuff. But are you going to go buy 2 players for every position because the first team wasn't good enough last year? I think you have to build it slowly. So I think they've had a decent window. And Spurs, I think they've bought and loaned very well within their means. Getting loan signings, loan options to buy, and all that kind of stuff. I think they've done well. But I think out as Chelsea had a few problem areas that people felt needed addressing. I do feel that it's not even a case of it's going to take long for them to gel. No, it will take long to gel, but I think the only thing that will bite them is the fact that Chelsea fans' expectations have gone through the roof. So they bought all those players and they're expecting, now we're going to win the title. And it's like, that's not how it works. You have to build and gel and that kind of stuff. And I think they can do that enough to get top 4, which I think will be a good season as long as the gap is closed to Liverpool mainly and Man City, of course. And then the next season, then you have to say, all right, we have to mount a proper title challenge because we've got the players. And I think with one season in the bank, you may need a touch up in one area if you want to get a Declan Rice in or a better goalkeeper, whatever it might be. Then cool. But I think they've got a good squad now, solid squad to play in all 4 competitions. I will give it number 1.
Romans won the league with less. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, but he's in terms of manager. So who have they won the league with? Who have they won? They've won the league with Mourinho, Ancelotti, Antonio Conte.
Yeah,
that's it. Granted, they won a Champions League with Di Matteo, but it was a cup competition. We were there for 6 months. Luis Felipe Scolari, what's the AVB? Andre Villas-Boas, Rafa Benitez. A lot of managers have come in and not won the league.
Avram Grant.
Avram.
A lot of managers have come in and not won the league at Chelsea. There's a select few. They had to bring Mourinho back to win the league. So Lampard, I'm not guaranteeing that Lampard's going to take this and win the league. Let me get a couple of comments before we have to get out of there. James, I dare Solskjaer start a single game Cavani over Martial. Listen, if Martial's not on form, or if Cavani is on form, he will start. And I don't have a problem with that. This is not Martial FC. I mean, it's not even Man United FC. It's Man United PLC. But that's not the point. It is not Martial football, Martial United. It's Manchester United. Whoever is the best suited to that game, or whether it's on form or style or whatever it might be, that's the person that play. As I said, after that game against Spurs, no person can complain if they're dropped. David De Gea might have a bit of an issue because he didn't do anything wrong, but he still conceded 6 goals. So that's just a matter of fact. Not one person can complain if they're dropped after that game. Of course, everyone won't be dropped, but a few people need to be dropped. Martial was culpable, very culpable in us losing that game because he had a petulant slap out at Lamela. Lamela should have been sent off, but Martial was foolish. So Cavani will start over Martial at times, and they'll start together at times. Everyone can challenge for top 4. I think they might be ahead of Spurs, Arsenal, and United. It's a big ask for all of them. Chelsea might finish above City, and also might be good, but he was brought from Roma as Alifant's replacement, and he failed at that. He didn't impress me at the World Cup. That's the new Everton keeper. Well, listen, I haven't seen much, to be fair. But if he's better than Pickford, he's an upgrade. That's what I can say. No, listen, if we have no Martial, we are done. If Martial's scoring, then he's not going to get dropped. If he's not scoring, then why would you not want someone to come in to replace if they are going to score, whether it be Green or whether it be Cavani? Like, we just need people that are scoring goals and performing on the pitch. I don't really care who it is. Rashford, I love him, but he isn't good enough. I was swapping for Son in a heartbeat. Son is not available. Where are we going with this? I don't understand. I was swapping for Messi. Like, what do you want me to do that information? I don't understand.
Quick question. Who's been the number one? Who do you think has been the number one signing in the Premier League this season?
Edison Cavani? No. I think it's between James Rodriguez and Thiago Alcantara. And I might edge for James Rodriguez in the sense that Thiago arguably a better player. I don't know if it's even arguable. Right now, he's a better player, maybe. But James is kind of coming in from the cold. He has to kind of reprove himself because his last couple of moves or the last few years haven't really worked out for him. It was a bit of a, people are doubting whether he can still cut it at this level. He started on fire. If he can drag Everton into Champions League places, then that would be absolutely amazing. Thiago's coming to make the best team of them better, less pressure. But yeah, I think it's between those two. Great.
You know what? Can I just quickly say I want to disagree with that because I hear what you're saying, and if we was judging it off of the first 5 games that have been played, and James has been blessed that he's been there since the first game. Yeah, James has been the best signing of the Premier League so far. However, I'm going to look at it and I'm going to say, over the course of the season, I'm going to stick my neck out, and I think that the best signing is going to prove. I think is going to be Gareth Bale. I genuinely do think it's going to be Gareth Bale.
I don't. You think he's going to play enough games to be the best?
Yeah, I can see him playing at least 25 games minimum, and yeah, he's going to hit the ground running, and we're going to see a whole nother side to Spurs. Like, Son can handle that left-hand side. Put Bale on that right-hand side and Kane playmaking in them two. Nah, I'm sorry. They've actually solved the dilemma they had of getting rid of Eriksen. Kane's the new Eriksen. Bale and Son. Nah, sorry. I think I honestly think it's Bale. Signing of the season. What is it? A loan as well? Oh my God. It's got to be signing of the season. But we'll see, innit?
I'm actually gonna look even further afield than both. You know? I'm actually gonna look longer than this season. I'm actually gonna look longer this season. And
Ahmad Traore.
Sorry,
Ahmad Traore.
I thought his name was Diallo.
Ahmad Diallo Traore.
Nah, man, I'm looking a bit less than that, but I'm still looking quite forward, and I feel like, yeah, it may not be one we see in full this year, but because I think he's got the quality, I'm gonna go with
Thomas Partey.
Kai Havertz.
Okay.
I just feel like the guy is so sick, and he's got, from what I saw when I saw him at last year, he was running the show, and I don't know if he'll be able to do that at Chelsea on a regular basis, but he was so sick, and I feel like if he gets in that role where he gets freedom to do what he wants, it might just be the whole team starts to mold around him.
Mm.
As sick as the other players are around him, Pulisic, Ziyech, Werner, I just feel like if he gets going, he could do a madness, and it may, as I said, it may not necessarily be this year, but like he may win Chelsea the league next year. Like, he's got that sort of quality if they can just, yeah, maybe, innit? Maybe.
Next year, it'll be Jadon Sancho to Man United, so then that's already lost.
Still banging that drum, eh?
Yeah. Guys, listen, I can confirm Jadon Sancho's not coming this year, next year, any year. He'll remain at Borussia Dortmund for the rest of his career. Well done, Ed Woodward. You have won. You have won, Ed Woodward. You have broken me. I'm finished. Absolutely finished. Well done.
Damn, he broke 2 men, you and Patrice Evra. Damn.
Yeah.
He's like closing down Neeks Sports.
I might have to. Ed Woodward, on October 2019, I want to take a long-term view. Being distracted by short-term things can be dangerous when you are making cold, calm, long-term decisions. Ollie was hired with a long-term view that he would be successful. 1 year later, he signs 33-year-old Edison Cavani. What the hell is going on at this club? Ah, dear Lord. Dear Lord. What a sad little life, Edward. You ruined my club completely. so you can have the money. And I hope now you spend it on lessons in football directing because you have all the quality and grace of a reversing dump truck. Like Italian stuff. Shout out. I'm lying with me. Man United, we are a joke. We're finished. Guys, it's been a good, interesting transfer deadline day. Some players have gone. Tada. Chris Smalling, thanks for your service. Lucas Torreira's gone. Walcott's gone back to Southampton. Man United have signed Edinson Cavani, Alex Telles, a few youngsters. Arsenal have signed Thomas Partey. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. It is now the international break, 2 weeks to mull over all of this. Go on to fantasy football, mess with your team a few times, play some Football Manager, and sign the players that you wanted to. Get far in your FIFA career mode and show Ed Woodward how it should have been done. This is the time to do it because in 2 weeks, we'll be back with some more match reviews. Of course, in between all of that, we're still going to be making content. Look out for the podcast. Follow us on all the social medias, guys. Yeah, man. I don't know, man. Man United. I mean, Have Hope says it. I'm going to have to say it now. We're not Manchester United. We're Boychester divided. I'll see you soon, guys.